Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch the Twilight Zone Season 2 episode 25. Et I watched today 2 episodes of the Twilight Zone, the episodes 28 and 29 of this season 2. Yes, into that order, because the order, doesn't count with the Twilight Zone, because each time, it's one episode, one story, so for sure it doesn't count. Also because I decided to react to some episodes of this show, but not to all of the episodes of all of the seasons of this show. I said it a lot, I'm gonna say it again in case you are discovering my channel with this video, the fact that I selected on IMDb the 50th first shows, for how well they were rated, and I pick, into them each time some episodes that I want to react to, and I'm doing that sometimes, on my channel, like you can have nothing during entire weeks and suddenly you're gonna have 3 episodes, 4 episodes of the Twilight Zone. It's really depending on my schedule, like it's a project that I want to make on my channel to continue to react to this show, to discover new episodes about this show. But it's also something that I use, for my channel when I have a little gap on my schedule. Because I'm between shows, I don't have the time to begin a new show, to watch a lot of episodes and stuff like that. So because of that, you have 2, 3, 4 episodes of the Twilight Zone and then nothing during entire weeks. It's the case right now because I'm gonna finish Andor and The Walking Dead, and before beginning His Dark Materials and another show. Alice in Borderland, maybe? No, it's not Alice in Borderland. I can't remember which other show is coming back soon. But because of that, I'm between shows, so I have the time to watch new episodes of the Twilight Zone. That was the case today. And I appreciated the 2 episodes that I already watched today because they are representing well what this show can do, to have an entire episode to explore society subjects and such big ones, to talk, about stuff going deeper with that and all. And because of that, I think that I made a long review to talk about all of these society subjects and the fact that all of what happened during this episode could happen into our society, but also could happen into our screen right now. We wouldn't say, that it was written in 1961. And the second episode, which was more a society subject, a question that people were asking to themselves during that period of time, during 1961, the fact that maybe we have people on other planets who can come to colonize Earth, that fear of Martians and stuff like that. That was more a fear that people had during that period of time. But all of the rest, people being like, you are the Martian, that again, it can happen into our life. Like, it's really different episode, one really more to talk about societies, about these big subjects, and one more to play with the viewer, to play with us, to make big surprises at the end. And I was surprised by what happened at the end of the last episode. Stuff like that, to make an original weird story. And yes, this show is good at that. And again, I think that no matter what, even with the second episode, the second story, it's still really modern, to imagine a story like that during that period of time. Okay, people had a great imagination also during that period of time, but to do something like that on television, like to have a show which can create a story based on that, to go deep with that, to imagine all of that, it was not so usual, like it was rare, and it's so cool. And really sometimes I'm wondering, discovering these shows, these episodes, these stories, how people received them, you know, when they were out on television for the first time. Because the context was so different. Like right now we are used to have stories like that into shows, movies, books for sure, but also, you know, we have technologies and we have knowledge also that they didn't have, like I said during the review of the last episode. During that period of time, maybe you were afraid truly about people coming from other planets to colonize Earth, when right now we have the knowledge to know that on planets around Earth, like Mars and Venus, we had no life and we can't have life on them, not really. So see the context, the knowledge, the technologies also that we had and that we have right now are different. So yes, I'm wondering how it was received sometimes, and that's why, you know, for some previous episodes that I reacted to, I was glad when some of you told me that you discovered these episodes for the first time on television and really it scared you a lot. I think that it was for the episode with the door that some of you told me so, and other stuff like that. And yes, each time I'm wondering, so if it's your case, don't hesitate to comment and to tell me that, because I'm truly interested by that. Okay, I'm gonna stop this intro. Like always, remember that you have a Patreon if you want an extended reaction part of this episode, or for one. I don't think that I put 4 reaction parts so far, but maybe one day it's gonna be the case. Extended reaction part, no matter what, it's interesting because I'm not forced to cut each 5 seconds like it's a case for YouTube, to play with opacity and stuff like that, and it's also the best way to support me. Okay, and like always, I only know 2 things about this episode. It's the name and when it was out. The name, it's The Silence, and when it was out also in 1961. That's it. Each time I'm telling it, you know, during the intro, because I think that it's interesting for you to know what is gonna be the subject about this episode, like I do, you know, because it's each time such a different story in each episode that just to have a little of context, it's great. And to know when it was out, when it was written, played, filmed and all, it's also interesting to judge, you know, how cool it is for a show to imagine something like that, again, into that context. Let's go for this episode.
Well, where was I? Oh yeah, Jack Brewer. He walks across the door.
You're talking too much when they all want to react.
Anyway, he says to me, Jim, I've got to scrape up $250,000, and you're the only one that can handle it for me. Young friend is discoursing again. Well, of course, I looked a little askance at him because the Boer wouldn't know a corner of the market.
The thing worse than his talking so much is his transparency. He'll very nonchalantly ask for a loan from anybody within earshot.
Nah.
Last week, he asked me for a loan of $250,000. Is the wager I have in mind legal?
No wager is legal in this state.
Well, was it against the law?
I don't see anything criminal in it, no.
Well, friend, that is exactly what I wanted to hear from you.
Maybe something which is legal but not moral.
There's no
Or
cross
how
the
we
room
react
young
it.
Tennyson over there.
But it's the kind of wager that comes without precedent. It stands alone in the annals of bet-making. In just a moment, we'll see the terms of the wager and what young Mr. Tennyson does about it.
You're gonna ask him to do something against money.
$250,000.
A lot of money, so he can't refuse. And because also he wants money, he needs money.
Acts like he had seen a ghost.
Nah.
This is absolute nonsense. Is this some kind of a joke? I mean, really, Colonel, if it is a joke, it suggests a sense of humor quite beyond me.
You know, the humor is perhaps the least developed aspect of my character. I am quite serious.
You asked him to shut up.
The wagers take the following form. I will bet him $500,000 that he cannot remain silent for 1 year.
One entire year?
He will be placed in a room for observation by me or by any one of us at our discretion.
For someone who
He will
loves
not
to
be
talk
able to
that
speak
much?
one single word for 12 months.
What
Not
about
one single word?
his job, his personal
He will
life?
make-
What is the reason for this wager?
Your voice.
What I'm about to say might horrify the average person. I dislike you intensely, Tennyson. Your voice has become intolerable. I cannot ask you to resign from the club. I haven't got that right. I'd be willing to offer a large sum
But
of
for
money.
1 year and with these conditions?
Just have some quiet. You see, Tennyson, you could not possibly remain silent for a year. It's not in your nature.
It's cruel, you know, to force that to someone. Because it means the reasons behind.
Then you will succumb.
Because you're playing with the fact that he needs money. You want to force him to not be who he is. You're mocking him in front of everyone.
I happen to know that you're delivering your nightly financial follow-up because you're in desperate straits.
You know it. It's so cruel.
And you do practically anything for money.
I can either ignore you or call your bluff. Well, I choose to do the latter. Where am I to be incarcerated?
Well, in the old game room downstairs. You'll be in the glass-enclosed living room and bedroom.
You're gonna observe him. You're really considering him like an animal on which you're gonna make an experiment.
You will permit me or any one of us to observe you anytime.
Like a zoo, you know. And I'm afraid of them doing bad things, you know, for him to react, to test him.
Colonel, I would like to have that check certified and placed on deposit in my name.
That might be
And you know, right there in front of everyone, he's forced to accept. It's a question of honor also.
My credit is well known. So is my honor, as every member here will vouch for. You'll have to take my word.
I wouldn't.
It's my courage against your credit.
And you're all congratulating him? Is it weird that I'm feeling really sad with this situation and I think that it's a bad one?
I've known Colonel Taylor for a long time.
Do you know my wife, sir? Her name is Doris. She's a lovely thing. Frail.
And you're gonna abandon her during an entire year?
But her tastes run to unfragile things. I am also desperate in need of money. It may sound melodramatic, but it happens to be true.
I feel sad for you, so sad.
Any time now, Mr. Tennyson. Any time.
That's the weirdest confinement ever.
And it's 9 weeks now, sir. 9 weeks today that he's been in there. 9 weeks. There's a little bit more gristle there than I gave him credit for.
You have to be so bored.
How long are you going to keep on with this prolonged practical joke? Well, not much longer. For your sake, I hope that's the case. My sake.
Do you have the money?
Archie. I find that insulting. I think he's going to beat you, Archie. I think that boy down there is going to remain silent for the entire year.
It's gonna end, but someone is gonna die. March? They said June, no?
I've been giving this considerable thought. You fulfilled your part of the bargain admirably. But the fact is, I feel the whole thing has gone too far. It's becoming inhuman. I'm prepared to offer you $1,000 and you may walk out today.
9 months. You can continue for some.
Early spring this year, time of the year when a young man.
He didn't see the sun since that long. What about his wife?
She must be lonely.
She didn't come to visit?
She has been seen with other young men. It's odd she doesn't give you a visit. Don't you think it's odd?
Since the beginning, since 9 months?
She hasn't responded even to the notes.
I'm not gonna judge her because, you know, if you have your husband who is okay to do that during an entire year without consulting you, thinking of you, I would think that my husband is not that fond of me, you know.
It still might be possible to save your memory.
Don't listen to him. I want you to win and I want him to lose, but I think that he's gonna lose his mind. At some point, you know, he's gonna put a fire into that place or something like that.
Tennyson, I saw your wife in here. She was getting into a little European sports car.
You're playing with his mind. each day?
Your wife, I mean, your wife. You've got to get out of it. You really do. Well, I could tell you some stories about your wife. I might see my way clear to giving you $5,000. That would pay off a lot of your debts. Something
May. Not so long. 1 month, come on. You're losing it, but he's losing it also, and more in fact.
Listen, Tennyson, you cannot stay in there 1 more hour. Not another half hour.
1 month.
I wouldn't have believed it.
2 minutes is all the poor devil's got now. 2 more minutes.
Look at Archie, you have the face of a happy man. 12 months ago to the moment you destroyed yourself. Much as I told you you would.
The destruction I'm talking about has already taken place.
Yes. Your mental health.
You
tortured him.
Suggestions, gossip about his wife. But you haven't acted like an honorable man. Please don't go to the trouble of denying it. I'm sure much of it is true. That boy down there is stronger than you gave him credit for. And you are considerably weaker.
Is it a surprise, really? That the bully is weaker than the victim? I'm proud of you. You were all mocking him and now you're all applauding.
You have me at a disadvantage, Mr. Tennyson. The truth is I am a fraud. I haven't any money. It's true that I have pride, bearing, taste, exceptional breeding. But I lost most of my money some years ago. Now you have forced me to
How
recover this
stupid and cruel and way too proud you are.
You are by far the more substantial.
But that's not going to be enough to pay a year of his life. This little
I will ask
speech.
you to resign. I will not ask you to suffer my presence any longer.
Tennyson, you can talk. Your time's up. You can talk. You can talk anything you want. What's he writing? What is he doing? Why doesn't he talk?
Did you catch your tongue?
Say, Archie.
Why did he write? Why didn't he say something?
I knew I would not be able to keep my part of the bargain. So 1 year ago, I had the nerves to my vocal cords severed.
But who discovered somewhat belatedly that gambling can be a most unproductive pursuit, even with loaded dice. For somewhere beyond him, a wheel was turned, and his number came up black 13.
You can go like, he cheated, he knew for sure that he would win that bet because he did that to himself, you know, he cheated. Because of that he doesn't deserve to win, he doesn't deserve that money because in fact he cheated and all. It's still not okay, all of what happened during this episode. Oh. That episode for me it's a lot about being way too proud of yourself, you know, that question of honor, of credit, of being proud of yourself and all. Because he was a little annoyed, you know, by someone's voice, someone talking too much, he put that bet, you know, in place. He took that risk to prove, you know, something because he had way more credit than that guy, you know, into that place with all of these guys. We saw it, you know, he was the one who was congratulated at the end, at the end of the first scene. And, you know, it was a question of pride, like, poof, I'm betting that you can't do that, like, for sure you're not gonna be able to do it. And at the end, you know, he has to confess that he doesn't have the money, he has to not be proud anymore, you know, of himself and to confess that he's weak. And all of what he did, you know, to have his pride intact, to keep someone into a place like that during all of this time, to play with it, after that to play with his mind, to torture someone like that. All of that to prove that you're not weak and that you were right to be so proud of yourself and to do that joke, you know, only to please people, you know, to make people laugh. And it's a little the same, you know, for the other one, the one who accepts, because with that situation, he was forced to accept. Everyone, you know, thought that he couldn't do it, so he was forced to accept, but he knew that truly he couldn't do it, but more than to accept that he couldn't do it, he was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but because I know that I can't, I'm gonna cut my vocal cords, you know, like, okay, it was also a question of money, for sure, that person was desperate, and that's another subject, you know, I'm gonna come back to it later, but yes, it's a lot a question of being too proud of yourself, and that question of honor, which is so badly placed, you know, you're putting that question of honor into stuff which doesn't deserve it, for sure, just to show yourself in front of people and to also say that you're stronger than someone else, or at least that you're not that weak. It's stupid, it's so stupid. But you know, even if I can consider that, you know, that each one, you know, took a lot of risk with that bet, and really everyone was wrong, in fact, even if I can think that, I know also that right there something else was really wrong, and it was more, you know, I can't remember their names, you know, the old guy. I think that his way of acting was way worse because of the fact that it was so cruel, because you knew that by creating that scene at the beginning in front of everyone, the other one was forced to accept, and even more because that person needs money, and the fact that you knew since the beginning that you didn't have that money, you couldn't, you know, give it to him at the end, you let him lose an entire year of his life, knowing that you tortured him that much just to not say that you don't have this money, and just to win that bet in front of everyone. Like, you have to be so selfish and you have to be so cruel to do something like that, and in fact so desperate. They are both desperate, they are both too proud of themselves, but they are not both cruel, you know. One is really cruel and the other one was not. They both have their defaults, and right there they both did things which were wrong. Like I said, too proud of themselves, all of that, you know, about showing that they can do stuff and all. But again, one was cruel, you know, and that's not okay. It's a question of bullying someone, like right there it was the extreme limit of bullying someone that much, like a privation of liberties, putting someone in confinement into that place without seeing the sun, without seeing the outside, torturing the mind of that someone with false allegations during an entire year, to just tease him with money that in fact you didn't have. Oh yes, it's so cruel. At the end, no one wins, and it's bad. Again, you can consider that because he cheated, he didn't deserve to win, but still, I think that he lost that, and he lost also a year of his life. He deserves something, you know? Or maybe you can say that because of the fact that he was too stupid, that he accepted that bet and he did that to himself, he doesn't deserve it. But like I said, he was stupid, he was too proud of himself, but he was not cruel. You can say, you know, that they both cheated, one by not having the money that he was supposed to have, one because he did that to himself. But again, there is for me that question of being cruel or not, which is important, and which is, you know, the balance is not that equal because of that. That was a cool episode. I'm not so sure, you know, about putting that episode right now into our society or right now into our screen. I'm not sure that it would work. I mean, we would have to change stuff for that. But for the subjects that this story explored, yes, it's still functioning. Men being too proud of themselves that they want to prove that in front of other men to impress them, the fact that you can bet a lot on it and you're cheating to win and and stuff like that, it still works. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video right now, and that's it. I'm gonna stop that little session of episodes of the Twilight Zone, and normally for you on my channel that's gonna be the last episode, you know, that you're gonna have for that session also. I don't know when I'm gonna see you again for new episodes of the Twilight Zone on my channel, like for a session of binge watching, but also on my channel. Maybe it's gonna be only in some weeks, some months, something like that. No matter what, it was cool, and I hope that you appreciated these little videos about the Twilight Zone. It's all for you and for me for today, so it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Crazy.